Hey guys, and welcome to my second channel. If you don't know of me, I have a primary channel called Ravencrow Productions, where I play a lot of random horror games like this. But for this channel, I'm going to be talking about different issues, different subjects, things that interest me, maybe a little bit of controversial stuff, we'll see. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about that vegan teacher. As you can see, she's a little frustrated in this video, judging by her scream of anger, or angst, or frustration, whatever it was. And there's a reason for that, and it's because lately she's been coming under fire by certain YouTubers, often YouTubers who are much bigger than herself, who have somewhere around 600,000 subscribers, maybe even more than that. And they are all really kind of, in my opinion, overblowing what she is doing online. But before we get into that, I'm going to just play a couple videos to show you what she is generally all about. Here's one.
Carrots and hummus. It's where it's at. Got my carrots and hummus shirt and my carrots and hummus hat. Don't worry. It's not a sin to dip it in. Go vegan.
And this one.
Chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, broccoli. Did you eat them yet today? Hurry up!
And this one.
Murderers don't get to heaven, murderers go elsewhere. Murderers don't get to heaven, murderers go elsewhere.
And lastly, but certainly not least.
Did you wake up and think to yourself, you know what, I've been following that vegan teacher for a while now and I think I'm ready. I'm ready to stop abusing animals. I'm ready to stop paying the meat industry, the dairy industry, and the egg industry, and the fur industry, all of it. I'm ready to start my vegan journey. Well, perfect, let's sing. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Woo-hoo. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Woo-hoo. Whether you've been vegan for a lifetime or just a minute, welcome to the club. We're so glad you're in it.
So yeah, she posts a lot of cutesy little videos, mostly on TikTok and on YouTube, and that's her thing. She basically is a vegan activist, and she's outspoken about it, and there you go. But yeah, the critics that she has right now that are going after her are basically saying that she is downplaying things like racism or homophobia or George Floyd's death or Black Lives Matter. There's like all these accusations, which are interesting, but I think they're a little over-exaggerated. Now, just to go a little further in this, I'm just going to say that I am gay, I am also disabled, I am in a wheelchair, and none of this bothers me. Now, I don't make the rules. Just because it doesn't offend me doesn't mean that it doesn't offend other people, or that somehow my opinion is more important than anyone else's. But I'm just going to say that she really does have a point in this next video that I'm going to play, where she says that because she is a vocal person about animal rights, and that she sees animals as like a minority that are being violated by human beings, essentially, that she has a right to speak up for them, and she has a right to point out to certain minority groups, such as myself, saying, well, you know, if you are oppressed and you feel oppressed and you don't like it, then why aren't you also helping animals which are also oppressed and being killed, you know, in like thousands every day, just so we can have, you know, millions probably every day, so we can just have a nice dinner. So yeah, here's kind of her take on this, and after you hear that, I will play some videos that people deemed as quite offensive.
So I want to just clarify a couple of things in case you or anybody else is confused about who I am and what I stand for. I call out every single group, every person on the planet for not being vegan, whether they're a kid, a 13-year-old. You have to be 13 to be on TikTok, so I'm assuming that I'm talking to teenagers. Whether you're 13, whether you're 16, whether you're 90, I will say something to you if you're not vegan. because I feel like it's really important that we educate people, because in the school system, we certainly don't. So many people are uneducated and don't have a clue. So that is one thing I will do. And I want you also to know that it doesn't matter to me what their religion is, what their gender is, whether they're fat or skinny, whether they're tall or short, whether they are Jewish or Muslim or Christian or atheist. It doesn't matter to me. Whether they're gay, lesbian, bi, pansexual, whatever, trans, I will go after anybody, and especially if they claim to be a victim. And this is why I am struggling a bit with my direction on TikTok, because on the one hand, they said, well, you can't go after the LGBTQ community unless you're one of us, which never makes any sense to me. Why
And
can't
there's
you
an
go
ad
after
gonna play,
anybody?
so hold on a minute.
So I thought, okay, well, maybe I should let everybody know that I'm bisexual. The rest of the world knows. I just never happened to have mentioned it. It was no big deal when I came out of the closet.
So this kind of came up after she got criticism for criticizing the LGBTQ plus community for supporting the slaughter of animals, essentially. Basically, there was a very harsh reaction to that, and I guess she made a video sometime or something saying, hey guys, I'm bisexual, so I can critique this community. But then in the same video right here, she kind of goes on to say that she criticizes everyone, even if she's not in that community, and I personally think that's fine. I think that if she supports in her view, a minority group that is being slaughtered upon the thousands, that she can go after anyone she wants. It's the internet. Doesn't mean she's free from criticism. People are going to get pissed about it. But I don't think that she has to be like, well, just because, you're this or you're that, I can't touch you. Because in her mind, I think animals and people aren't that much different. And a lot of people won't agree with that. But, so when she sees an animal being slaughtered or hears about it or knows about it, I think to her, that's kind of the same thing as slaughtering a human. That's the same thing as oppressing a human in her mind. And you might not agree with that, but I think that's her take. Anyway, let's continue.
When I was a teenager, I just did it. I just knew that I was that, and that was it. I never got abused by it. I never got anybody trying to beat me up or was mean or anything. So to me, coming out is nothing. I mean, I don't go around telling everybody, but people know. They know. Anyway, so, and yeah, presently and throughout my life, I've been in monogamous relationships, and that's it. It has nothing to do with why I'm here, but I'm just mentioning that when I did come out as a member of the bisexual community, saying, okay, well, now I can talk about the LGBTQ community and how you guys are talking about how oppressed you are, and then they will sort of understand, like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't oppress the animals. I mean, to me, it's like I have this image of them. It's like they're stepping on a turkey's neck and then talking about how oppressed they are. It's like, excuse me, could you like not step on the turkey's neck, and then maybe I'll listen to how oppressed you are, but you're literally killing that turkey or any other animal 3 times a day with your meals and your dairy and your eggs, and you're crying about how oppressed you are. So, but that didn't work, and that's where we see all the hypocrisy and the cognitive dissonance and the average person, like you talked about in the video, how people have a really hard time. Because before that, when I would see somebody...
Okay, so yeah, that's her explaining why she goes after oppressed groups, because she feels that animals are an oppressed group, and I mean, I think that's a weirdly fair point. To me, animals and people aren't exactly on the same level, but she's a vegan, so I feel that in a lot of ways she should feel that way, if you know what I mean. I think it's almost hypocritical for vegans and animal activists out there to support a lot of things that they do support, because it just seems strange. Because on one hand, a lot of vegans, and I mean Unnatural Vegan is one of them, that she will claim that, people are basically sentient, right? They have self-awareness, they're intellectual, they're smarter than animals, essentially, but she'll say that, our lives, or what we feel is comforting for us, so we don't want to eat a cheeseburger or something. That's wrong because we're causing unneeded suffering to animals. And we shouldn't do that because we know it's wrong. So that's her take, and I respect that. But at the same time, she takes medications for, I believe, antidepressants or something like that. And that's interesting. And she also supports vaccines. So that's another thing that I've always been a little confused about with these hardcore vegan activists that are tearing people down. And I'm not saying a natural vegan does that because she doesn't. But people that do that, they tear people down and they say, you're a piece of shit. You eat meat. How dare you? You're killing things. But at the same time, they're getting their vaccinations, which were tested on animals. Or they're taking their medications, which were tested on animals, and basically killing lab rats so they can feel better. So that seems hypocritical to me. So I don't know if this is how she is, the vegan teacher, but I would have a hard time thinking she feels that way, because to me, she talks about different things also in this video, which I'm not going to play, but she talks about her use of the word Holocaust, which also has offended people. But she talks about how, to her, these millions of animals that are killed all the time so we can eat them, or put them in food, or not food, but, make clothes out of them or whatever. She feels that that's in line with a Holocaust type situation where, a lot of people say that's fucked up, that's messed up, you can't say that because people are more important, but I don't think she feels that way. I think she feels that animals and people are kind of on the same playing field, and she's very consistent with that belief. So I respect that, personally. Some people don't. Some people get really pissed off, but I respect that. That's all I gotta say. So the next video I'm gonna play here is one that really angered a lot of people, and I kind of understand this one, actually. It's also like one of her main videos on her YouTube channel, and I think that's probably a really bad idea, but it's kind of relating the murder of animals like chickens to the murder of George Floyd. So we're gonna watch a little bit of that, just a little bit, and then I'll tell you my final thoughts on the whole thing. It's called I Can't Breathe. Ooh. Good music, composed on May 25th, 2020 with
I
lyrics
am
added.
a cow being sent to slaughter. You've sealed your rope around my neck. I can't breathe. I am a pig thrown in this gas chamber, pleading for my freedom. I can't breathe. I am a chicken upside down. Your knife is sliced inside my windpipe. I can't breathe. I am a lamb torn from my mother. Your hands are clenched, squeezing my throat. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Okay, so the song goes on like this. It's a lot of examples of animals being abused or slaughtered or killed for food or whatever, and she's basically using the phrase, I can't breathe, and that's also what I believe George Floyd said when the cop was standing on his neck for 10 minutes or whatever ridiculous amount of time it was. So yeah, that's just a piece of it, but really, I think if you look at her channel, most of it is just her saying, eat vegan, don't kill animals, and she plays her ukulele, and she's silly and funny, and she dances, and, it's really kind of just lighthearted stuff, but I think she really, 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 really believes everything she's saying, and I think she's serious about it. So, before I did some research into this, I actually thought she was a troll, which is funny, because to me, she kind of seemed almost like a stereotypical bleeding heart vegan that would, in my opinion, cry over a worm. But I don't think it's a joke. I think, as I said before, and I don't want to repeat myself, she sees animals and humans on the same playing field, and she says, if you do this as a human being, then you can't do it to animals, and I think it's respectable. Now, would I make a song like that, aligning it with, or comparing it to, George Floyd, or police brutality? No, I would not. But my mind isn't like her mind. I don't think the way she thinks. I'm not vegan. I'm not horrified. I should be horrified, but I'm not. Maybe I'm desensitized to it. Whatever. But in her mind, I think it makes sense. And I don't think she's doing any of this to be rude. I don't think she's racist. I don't think she's homophobic. I think she just truly believes that if you're an oppressed group, you can't be oppressing a group. And that group, in her mind, is an animal. So that's my thoughts. I also feel like maybe she is a little tiny bit trolly. I think some of us, especially YouTubers, are a little bit trolly just by nature. I think we like getting a rise out of people, and I think we like putting things sometimes in a bit of an extreme way to get a reaction. And I think, that's why we do it. We want a reaction. We want people to react to what we're saying or doing, and we want a response. And I think that's what she's doing. And I think at heart she does mean well, but she's pissing people off. And I think people are trying to cancel her. And then there are also people like iNabber, which is some huge YouTuber, which I mentioned earlier, that's saying she's like a stalker because she messages people on TikTok. Come on, like, get off it. That's just ridiculous in my opinion. If you're on TikTok or you're on Twitter, you don't add friends on those social media platforms, as far as I know. I mean, I just do Facebook, but it's all about following. So people follow you, you follow them, you see their comments, they see your comments, you see their videos, you blah, 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 and you respond to them. And it doesn't matter if you're an adult and you're messaging a teenager about their content that they put out, if you're being appropriate. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's what she does because she's on TikTok, and that's the point of TikTok. So I think when people are starting to say she's a stalker or she's a psycho, I think they're just out of line, and I think they're being ridiculous, and it's just part of the mob of the internet where there's certain things you can't talk about and you can't comment on, and if you do, you're crucified and they try to cancel you, and it's all just a bit of ridiculousness, and it leads to, in my opinion, a lot of censorship that should never happen. Alright, so that's it for this video. If anyone watches this, that'd be awesome. I have a lot more subscribers. I don't have any subscribers on this channel yet, but I have a lot of subscribers on my other channel, so I might cross-share it or something. But if you have an opinion on this, let me know what it is. And I'll be back soon with more videos. I think my uploading schedule here is going to be like every Thursday for now, and it's just going to be on like hot topics, crazy stuff that's going on that I think maybe is a little overblown or ridiculous, because I'm like that all the time. I see things all the time online where people are absolutely losing their minds, and I'm just like, come on, think about this rationally, get off it. And at the same time, it's the internet, so just chill out, like, calm down. Just me, it's just how I am, alright? So if you like this video, click like. If you want to share it, and if you haven't subscribed to me yet, subscribe, and I'll be back very soon. I'm getting some more artwork done, and some music done, so that should be cool too. Okay? Peace.